So let's talk about the steps that you need to take in order to elect S Corp status. And just as a reminder, if you want to elect S Corp status for the entire year of 2023, you need to file that election on or before March 15th of 2023. So let's get into it. The first step is going to be opening up an LLC. So if you already have an LLC, fantastic, you've already got that taken care of. If not, that's the first step. I always recommend using a registered agent service because in most states, your legal name and address is public record if you are the registered agent for your LLC. So by using a registered agent service, you are giving them permission to list their name and address on the state filings so that your address is protected. Otherwise, anybody who finds the LLC name could just Google it and find your name and your address. So we want to avoid that. I personally work with Northwest registered agents and I've had a fantastic experience with them. So I will drop the link to their website in the comments. And they can really streamline the process for you. You know, they can file for your LLC, apply for your tax ID number, and file your S Corp election for you. And it's pretty affordable, so I definitely recommend doing that. You can have an accountant file all that paperwork for you, but even I personally just use Northwest registered agents for all of that, just so that I don't have to worry about it. And that's what I typically have my clients do as well, because, you know, our time is better served either building our businesses or for me, you know, looking at your finances, filing your taxes, things that somebody else can't do. So I prefer to offload that and just have a one-stop shop to get everything taken care of. And you can also opt to have them take care of your yearly filings as well, which is what I personally do. The next step is once you have your EIN to go open up a business bank account. So you do have to wait till you have your tax ID number to do this step. Otherwise, you're just opening up another personal account. So once you have that EIN, go open up a business bank account. I always recommend using a credit union whenever possible. They just tend to be more member friendly and more relationship based. If you haven't already watched my videos about banking discrimination in this industry, definitely go check those out before you open up your business bank account. And I'm going to have to make this one a two-part video because I'm already out of time. So check out part 2. So this is part 2 of steps that you need to take in order to elect S Corp status. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, definitely go check it out. But where we had left off, you had just opened up your business bank account. So the next step is going to be to set up payroll for yourself. So the biggest difference between electing S Corp status and being a sole proprietor or a single member LLC is just that as an S Corp, you are required to set up payroll for yourself, pay yourself a paycheck, and issue yourself a W-2 at the end of the year. It does just need to be a reasonable salary. There's no clear one definition for that, but it is subjective to your business's earnings and the industry that you're in. So I always recommend just hiring a payroll service for this because you're probably not a payroll expert, and it can be really time consuming to try and learn and make sure that you're up to date with all the regulations, especially with your state. So I always recommend hiring out for that step. I personally use ADP for my business's payroll, so I'll link to their services in the comments so you can check them out. And with your payroll, you can pay yourself as often or as little as you like. You know, you're required to do at least one payroll per year, but you could just pay yourself one time a year if you wanted, or if you want to have more regular paychecks, you know, you could pay yourself once a month, twice a month. Really, it's up to you. My clients really range in how often they give themselves payroll. Some of them do it once a quarter, some of them do it once a year, some are doing, you know, bi-weekly paychecks. So you do have flexibility there. And the last step, you know, other than staying up to date on all of your filings every year, is making sure that at the end of the year, you are filing an S Corp return for your business. So if you've been filing as a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, you're probably used to just filing one tax return every year, which is your personal income tax return. If you elect S Corp status, now you have to file a business tax return in addition to your personal tax return. And your business tax return is typically due on March 15th of every year, so it's due a month earlier than your personal return. And you will need to file that before you can do your personal return. And for that, I always recommend hiring an accountant to file that return for you because they do get pretty complicated. It's going to be very different from filing your personal return. So even if you have filed your own personal return in the past, once you elect S Corp status, it's important that you have an expert looking over your returns and making sure that everything is done properly. And of course, I am more than happy to help you with any of these steps.